Okay, we will do our same warm-up as always. Namely, we'll play through Husky Venu. So, let's turn this on there. Okay, is this coming through? Can you see it okay, everyone? I can't see you while I'm doing this, so you'll have to tell me if it's not for some reason. Oh, I can see Alyssa's through here. That works. Okay. Oh, and let me make mine spotlighted so it becomes big for everyone. Sorry for the crazy look now. Here we go. Okay. So, getting our ukes out, getting our C chord ready. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, 3, down, up, down, up, 4. Here we go to the G now. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, 3. 4. Here we go, A minor, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, 4. Here we go to F now, F, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, 4. Back to C for 2, C, C. Now G, G, again, now A minor, again, down, up, down, up, F, down, up, down, now just one set each, C, G, A minor, and F, again, now C, G, A minor, and F. Keep going, we'll try to sing it. Hashki venu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu lechasi. Hashki Ginu Adonai minor, Hello F nu leshasi, v'hami G, Shome minor, F and with C. Okay, how did that feel? I'm seeing thumbs up here. I noticed my mom turned off her camera. Though she doesn't have a uke, so that's fair. There you go. A few more here. Oh, I am going to make, sorry, Autumn and Sean, I'm making both of you co-hosts. Where did you go, Autumn? You were here a second ago. There you are. Okay, you are both co-hosts. Violet the dog is being very distracting here for those who are in person. Okay, so now I want to add in a little bit of funkiness here. So we have been playing around the last few weeks with all sorts of different changes that we can do to chords, right? We've been playing around with doing seventh chords. They give that bluesy kind of sound, right? But we've also been playing around with suspended chords, right? So go ahead and play your G chord for a second, everyone. Get into that G chord, and we're going to practice then putting down your pinky on that 3rd fret. And then you lift up your middle finger. Put your middle finger down. Should I zoom in on my hands? Would that be easier for everyone? Would that be helpful? Let's see.
Can you just say what suspended means?
So suspended, as a reminder, Linda asked, I don't think everyone hears her, but as a reminder, a suspended chord is, in a technical sense, when we carry over a note from the last chord into this one, or from the next chord from this one, if that makes sense. It's when you're carrying things over from one place to another, one chord to another. But here what we're doing is called a sus2, where we add in the second note of the scale. So we lift up our finger on a G chord to play a sus2. So that bottom A string just rings out open. And a sus4 is when we put our pinky down on that bottom A string on the 3rd fret. So we have our regular G, we have our sus4 with our pinky down. Let's see, that'll be easier. There's our regular G and there's our sus2. Regular G, sus4, 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 regular 2. So, you know you're doing it right if it sounds like Free Falling by Tom Petty. So go ahead and play with that. It doesn't have to be in the same rhythm as me for now, but okay, yeah.
Something that might help people. Help me, anyway. So the 2 is
Hold on,
the
I'm going to
second-
change the microphone so everyone can hear you too. There we go. Go ahead.
Sus2 is like it's G, A, is that a B you're getting, or A? So sus2 is the second note in the
Instead of the
scale.
3rd, yes, exactly.
Instead of the 3rd. I think, could we repeat that? Because I think that might help.
Yeah, for those who are more music theory-ish, what's happening in a sus2 is that instead of the normal chord being made of the 1, the 3, and the 5, in a G that's a G, a B, and a D, we drop out the 3 and we add in the 2. So it becomes a G, an A, and a D. But again, if that's too music theory for you, don't worry about that at all. So let's try that again. How is this feeling for people? With thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down. How does it feel to just kind of play with it? Alyssa's lost, Judy's lost. We've got some people who are getting it, some who aren't. Okay. We are recording this. We are streaming it, Amy. Unless that was Judy who typed it, who's also named Amy in the chat. And we had Elisa last week who was also Amy in the chat. I think if you click on the link from Amy, you become Amy, is how it works. Okay. So, play a G chord. Lift up your middle finger. Play that. Now play a G chord again. And take your pinky finger and put it down on the 3rd fret on the A string. So keep your G the same otherwise, but put your pinky there. So I'm actually leaving 4 fingers down, but you theoretically could lift up your middle finger here if you wanted to, but I leave it down. Oh, excuse me, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not.
I have one more question that might be helpful.
Yeah.
Could you say why you use, like I know by the season.
We're gonna go into how to use them in just a second. Yeah. I'm just making sure we've got it before we use it.
Okay.
So then practice going between them. With your pinky down, with a regular G, with your middle finger up. Pinky down, regular G, middle finger up. And then you can go in the other direction. Okay, how was that? Judy, still not good? What's hard about it? Will you unmute yourself and tell us?
know what you're doing? What is it? You're doing a C2?
So they're called a sus chords. We're making a G sus2 or a G sus4. But for now, you don't even need to think of it as anything other than playing around with your pinky like that. And just playing between these chords. Just going back and forth where you're just playing, staying in that G chord, but lifting up your middle finger or putting it down. Putting down your pinky or lifting it up. It's just ways to change and add some flavor to your G chords.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It's okay. I mean, I thought G7 would do that.
G7's a different flavor. We're giving you lots of ice cream flavors here. It's really, the goal is that you...
What kind of flavor is this?
So the sus chords are not bluesy flavors. They're instead very good for like adding in a little bit of flair. So let me show you an example of this. Maybe this will help because this is where we're going to go right after this. Is we're going to play Hashki Venu with this. So if you look at it, I'm going to play Hashki Venu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu. You getting what I'm doing there? When I'm hitting the G, I'm just kind of playing between those things. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim. Did that make sense? It sounds different, right? It's just, I'm not even suggesting that you should do that every time you play Hashki Venu, just that we're doing it right now is a way of learning this, as a sort of another flavor for us. Last week we worked on sevenths. This week we're adding in this suspended chord.
What would help me is to see the tab.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can pull up a suspended chord for you. Let's see. G sus2.
Then I would understand it.
Right, Daniel, is this the G minor that you're adding the pinky and then to make it a sus?
No.
No, it's a regular G. G sus2 uke. Okay, Judy, I've almost got it. Give me one more moment.
Okay. Am I muted?
You are not muted.
Okay.
Okay, almost there. Okay, you see those at the bottom now? Are they coming through? Yep. Okay, good. Now let me turn the sound back on for you. Okay, so, and you're not going to be able to see me if those chords are there, are you? But that's okay. You don't need to see me so much. Okay, so those are our sus chords right there. Our G sus2 and our G sus4, right? So all that's happening is that we are either lifting up our middle finger to play a G sus2 or we're putting down our pinky to play a G sus4. So let's try this together. We're just going to do G to G sus4 to G sus2. G sus4, G sus2. G4, G2. G4, G2. Okay, how did that feel? Was that easier? I'll try to remember to have those chords up for people. That helps, doesn't it? Okay, now we're going to do that even faster, if that's working for people. So let's go back here. So we're going to do G, G sus4, G, 2, G, 4, G, 2, G, 4, G, 2, G, 4, G, 2. A little faster. G, 4, G, 2, 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 G, 4, G, 2. G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2. G4, G2, G. Okay, thumbs again. How was that? Getting there? Okay. Sort of. So again, remember that this is another piece of flair for us. This is something that we're throwing in whenever you encounter a G, particularly when you're on it for a long time. You can just kind of hang out and play with that. So we're going to do that. We're going to do our whole beginning exercise again, where we do those 4 chords in a row with 4 sets of them, except we're going to do it with these suspended. So when we come around to it, the G, we will play with it. Okay, here we go. Okay, C, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Now go to G, G, and play around with the suspended. Take your pinky and put it down, or take your middle finger and put it off. A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor, A minor. Now F. Here we go. F, 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 F. Back to C. Now C. 2. Now G. Here we go. Play with it. G. A minor. And now F. Back to C. 1 set. C. G to play with. A minor. Now F. C. G, play with it. A minor. And F, back home to C. Okay, we are going to try that in This Land Is Your Land. Again, the same thing, that when we come around to that G, we are going to play around with it. So, there we go. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. This land is F land. This land is C land. From Cala-G. Play with it to the New York Sea. From the Redwood F to the Gulf Stream, C goes to A minor. F goes to G. Play with your G to C. Okay. How did that feel? Are we playing around with it? Are we able to play with it?
Daniel,
Yeah, Rennie.
so are we supposed to play the G regular and then switch to like lift up a finger, or just choose one of the alternatives?
So the beauty of these suspended chords is that it's not going to be wrong no matter what you do. So it's really play with it however you want to play with it, and you'll start feeling the difference between starting, with a G sus2 to a G versus starting with a G and moving there. And these are just toys for us, and unlike the 7th chord, which can feel wrong when you do it at some points, right? Sometimes it just feels way too bluesy for a spot. The suspensions are almost always something that you can play with whenever you come around to that G.
So you don't have to play the G and then a suspension. You can play just the suspension. Is that what you're saying?
You can play just the suspension into the G, or just stay on the suspension the whole time.
Okay. All right.
There's there are a number of songs that only do suspensions too. There's a U2 song, Desire, that goes from that G to a E, and both of them are suspended chords without having anything but suspensions. You find it all over. Yep.
All right. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, Linda.
It would help me if you would slowly do, when you're doing that strum, right? Down, down, and so we could see how you move through the suspension to the rhythm of that strum.
Okay. Linda's asking how I do the suspension through the rhythm of the strum. Part of that, I think, is what's happening is I'm actually, let me zoom in here, but I think what's happening is that when I get to there and I'm doing the suspensions, I'm actually moving to a down, up, down, up, down, up for that measure. And I'm losing the down, down, up. So I think that's what I'm doing. Let's try. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. When I get there, I'm just abandoning my regular strum and I'm just going to the down, up, down, up. And notice that it's really hard to see because my wrist is always moving at the same speed no matter what, right? Even when I'm doing the down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Right? My wrist is always moving at that speed, which is really what we worked on last week, and we're going to do some more of those exercises this week too.
And did you rotate through 2 and 4 and back to 2?
I was rotating between all of them there, but you don't have to. You can also just do, right? That was just me playing with the 4, and that sounds great. Or you can just play with the 2, right? And actually you can see, let me show this to you, why it's called a suspension. When we go from the D2, D sus2, to the A minor, that low A string is ringing the whole time. It never changes. So it's suspended from one chord to the next is the idea. Don't worry about it if that didn't make sense. That's just the music theory part of it.
Would you show the tabs again, please?
And actually what I can do here is, let's see, let me move myself there. Yeah, so I'm listening to Alyssa say that her fingers are hard to do this with, and that's totally fine and totally normal, and that's why we're doing this as an exercise, so that we get our fingers used to it. This will become just another one of those muscle memory things you can do whenever you hit a G. So the way to practice this is very much to play free falling, if that's what you want. If you want to practice this, if you know that Tom Petty song.
Do you have that on a thing?
I'm sure we can pull it up. It just goes from the G to the G sus4 to the G sus2. I'm free. I'm free falling. And that's the whole song. So if you put on Free Falling on the radio, free, or YouTube, you can just play along. I'm free falling. Okay, enough on the suspended chord for today, though. Any last thoughts on this before we go on and do other things? Because we don't want to spend all day on this.
Can you just do down up, and then do the sus chord without going? Because I think it's too complicated.
Yes,
Okay.
Always. If when you add something in, the whole deck of cards starts collapsing, then it means you need to take something out. And so you can take something out like the strum and just work on the new chords, and then add it back in. Violet, come here. Yes, I know you're very excited that there's people here. Okay, let's play some more, shall we? No, I can't pet you. I'm sorry. She's nuts. Okay. Hi. Okay, so let's go to our blues. Let's review our blues. Just when you were getting comfortable with one change, now we got to add in another. Where are you, blues? There you are. And okay, I think everyone can see everything, right? This looks like let me turn on original sound so you can hear me better. Oop. Okay, so we are going to start by playing our blues in C. We're going to start just with our regular chords. We're not going to do the seventh chords yet, so don't look at the chord charts here. So C is our one chord. Just as a reminder, our blues are a 1-4-5 progression. So C is our one chord. F is our 4 chord, and G is our 5 chord. So let's just start with the regular chords. C, up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Okay, here we go. From the top. C goes to F, back to C. Goes to F, stays at F, now back to C. Now goes to G, and to F, back to C. Goes to G to turn it around. One more time, C. F, C. F, back to C. Go to G, and to F, home to C. Okay, turn it around. Stay on C for a second while I talk. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, every time we've got 2 of the same chord in a row, like if you look at that first line, it's 1, 4, 1, 1. For the second one in a row, we're going to turn it into a 7th chord. So we're going to go C to F to C to C7 for that first line. C, F, back to C. Now go to C7. Here we go. C7. Now go to F. Now F7. Back to C. Now C7. Go to G. And now to F. Back to C. Turn around with the G. Do that same thing again. C to F. Go to C. Now C7. F. F7. Back to C. C7. G. F. Back to C. Turn around to G. Stay on C for a second. Okay, so one of the things we've talked about is that 7th chords are bluesy. The other way I want us to think about this is that 7th chords are movement chords. Whenever we play a 7th chord, it wants to move somewhere else. So when we've got 2 of the same chords in a row, like 2 C's in a row, I can't even say this. I feel like I'm just singing it while I'm playing it. Well, we've got 2 C's in a row, like the end of that first line and the end of the second line. If we make the second one a 7th chord, it lets us know we're about to move. Right? Do you feel that? I make it a 7, now it wants to move again. Right? So these are movement chords. So let's try this again with that in mind. Here we go. From the beginning, C goes to F, back to C. Now C7 comes. F, F7 goes to C. 7, except this time, every time we get a G, we're gonna play a G7. C, F, goes to C. Now C7. Regular F, F7, regular C. Now C7. Here comes a G7. Here we go. G7. Go to F. Now to C. Turn it around to G7 again. One more time that way. C. Goes to F. Goes to C. C7's next. Here we go. Play the 7. F. F7. Goes to C. C7. For the C7, switch to your index finger. G7. Go to F. Now go to C. Now G7. Okay, this time we're going to play nothing but 7th chords. C7. F7. C7. Another C7. Here comes F7. Another F7. Go to C7. C7. Now G7. F7. C7. G7 and come to a pause at C7. A 7th chord to finish a song, by the way, is a great way if you don't want to, if you want to leave the song feeling a little like incomplete-ish, but not so incomplete that you play a different chord, you play a 7th chord at the end, right? And it gives you that feeling. Okay, let's check in. How are we feeling about that? How did that go? Thumbs in the middle, thumbs up. This is real playing. Like what we're doing with the blues is much more than anything else that we're doing, real ukulele playing. So keep practicing that. That is the place to practice. I see some chats. Okay. Autumn saying it sounded like Tom Petty. I assume you were talking about when we were doing the suspended chords earlier. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Would you ever dump in suspended chords into that, or is that?
Okay, so Linda asked, would we ever put 7th chord, suspended, there's too many of these sounds, suspended chords into a blues progression with the 7th chords. Wow, that's really hard to say. I don't know why. So the answer is, like everything else, these are flavors. And so try out those flavors. So actually, like one thing I might do is C, F, G, C. And when I get to that G, I'm doing the suspended. But I don't know if anyone noticed when we were doing just the regular chords, before we started adding in the 7ths, that I was doing a little bit of flares at times. And those flares that I were doing were almost always 7th chord, or suspended chords. The C suspended chord is a really nice one where you put your index finger down on the E string on the 1st fret, like this.
Is that suspended too?
That's a, what are we adding in there? It's an F, so C, D, E, it's a sus4. So yes is the answer. We can always play around with these things, and that's the goal with all of these toys that we're playing with these days rather than songs, right? With the suspended chords and with the 7th chords, is that they are flavors for us to add in. I'm hoping that everyone is going out and finding songs that you want to play on your own, too. Are people doing that? Who is going out and Googling songs and finding them? And good. If there's a song you want to play that you're having trouble finding, message me and I'm happy to help you find the uke chords for it and help you put it into a key that works and all of that kind of stuff. Okay, Patty.
If I just want to focus on the chords without the strum, am I doing a down, up, or am I just doing a down?
Great question.
Because I need to simplify something, because it's I can't keep keep up with all three.
So the simplest is just to do a down chord, down strum. Excuse me, a down strum at the beginning of each part, right? So C, da, 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 F, da, 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 C. Now go to C7, C7. Now F, F7, back to C. So that's the simplest. So once you can do that easily, then you move to a down up. And then once you can do that, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. You'll notice that the down, down, up that we're doing in the blues, though, is a little sloppy, right? And that's on purpose. We call it swung, where it's not quite on the beat. It's kind of swinging back and forth between it, and it gives it that feel, too. So, yeah, that's probably a part of the problem, too, Patty, is that the strum is not quite the strum you're used to, even though it seems like it. So, yeah, always go back to the basic and add from there. And that way you can also figure out where your pain points are and focus in on them. Whatever is the hardest, focus in on it and let the other things go for a moment while you do it. Okay, other questions? Okay, we're going to start adding in new songs again next week, hopefully, and songs that are going to take advantage of these suspended chords and these seventh chords. So let's... Where did you go? Okay, we are going to play another song, and we're going to start using some of these toys that we have with this song. We are going to do... Let me figure out how to best screen share this. Okay, does this look right? Okay. So, this is one we're really familiar with if we're CRC service regulars at all. It's going to be our same strum that we normally do. It's our same chords that we normally do. But because there are only 3 chords and it is so simple and so short, we are going to practice with our suspensions and practice with our 7th chords. So, do you want me to add 7th chords and suspensions to this sheet? Will that help, Judy? Let's find it.
The tabs.
And sorry, we're going to lose the title here, but that's okay. And should we grab some 7th chords too for us? Will that help? There's our G7. Okay, so you can do all of these suspended chords and these 7th chords with every chord. It's not just your G's, but we're really focusing in on the G here. Okay, so we have our G7s and our G sus's over there at the top. So we're going to start with just the suspensions. We're not going to play with the G7th at the beginning. So, Adonai prese me si, to be a sanctuary G. Oh, you can't see that G chord anymore, can you? Let's move that up so you can actually see the chord listed. Adonai prepare me, and I'm just doing downs now, to be a sanctuary G, pure and F, tried and C, stay there, with thanks C, I'll be a G, F, sanctuary for you. Let's add in 2 more G's here, though. There we go. I wrote this for us when we were less capable of the G, when the G was still quite hard for us. Okay, so let's do that again. Except this time we're going to do our down, down, up, down, down, up. Here we go. One last time. Now we go. Adonai, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and F, tried and C. Now G with thanks C. I'll be a G. Now to F, to G for you. Adonai, prepare me. Now when we go to the G, let's play with it. Be a sanctuary, pure and holy, tried and see. Now when we go to the G, play around with it. With thanks C. I'll be a G, play with it. Now to F, to G, go to C. Okay. Now, G7s want to go to Cs. It's a universal rule. So anytime that we've got a G that leads to a C, it's a great time to play a 7th chord. So we're making this more complicated now. When we have a G, and I listed them here, so it should be easy for us to see. When we have a G that's just a G on its own and it goes to an F next, then we're going to do the suspensions with it. When we have a G that goes to a C next, we're going to do a G7. And I labeled the G7s on here, so we should be able to see.
I can't, Danny, what is the second one?
Yep.
One, I can't see what the second, there you go.
Sorry, yep,
What
I
does
see that.
say? What does it say? Because it's blurry.
We've got a G7 is the first one, the second one's a G sus2, and the third one's a G sus4.
Okay, all right, that's what I want.
Okay,
Yes,
here we go.
so,
C, down, up, down, up. Here we go. Adonai, prepare me. Now when we come to this G, we're gonna do susses. Pure and F. Tried and C. Now G7, here it comes. With thanks C. I'll be a G, suspend it. Sanctu F to G7, back to C. From the top again. Adonai, prepare me to be a sanctuary. Suspend it, play with your pinkies, lift up your finger. Pure and F. Tried and C. Now G7 with thanks C. I'll be a G, suspend it. Sanctu F to G7. Now to C. Okay, how was that? I'm seeing, how are we feeling here in person?
I get it. I think the hardest part is just feeling good about the rhythm of changing the susses. Like
Yes, so
feeling the rhythmic changes. Like you can feel them when you change those chords. It's like really you're in it. But the changing with the susses feels like I'm just doing it randomly.
Randomly.
Yeah.
Did people hear what Linda said and Alyssa agreed with?
Feel that?
that it feels like we've got the rhythm down so well when we're doing the regular rhythm, right? We can just feel it. We can feel the chord changes now. And then we get to the suspended chords and it's like we don't know what rhythm to do, which I think makes a lot of sense. And so a lot of that is just playing with it and practicing it and getting used to it. But a lot of it is also about that exercise we worked on last week that I hope people are working on, where we really are concentrating on our wrist always going down and up. And if our wrist is always going down and up in those eighth notes, if it's always on the beat, then it doesn't matter what chords we do, it's always in rhythm. It doesn't matter what strums we do. So one exercise that might be helpful is to do it exactly like that. To go down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's all try that. Play your G. Let me put the chords back up. I know some people like that. Okay, just ignore the words here. We're just using this so we can see the G chord and the suspended chord. So play the G, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now sus4, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Now regular G, G. 2, 3, now sus2, where you lift up your middle finger. Now regular G, where we put it back down, G. 4, 1, 2. Now sus4 with your pinky. 1, 2. Now regular G, G. Now sus2, where you lift up your middle finger. Now we're gonna be a little faster. G, 2, 3, 4. Sus4, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. Sus2. G, pinky 4, G, lift up your middle for 2, G, 2, 3, 4, pinky for 4, regular G, lift up your middle for 2, here we go. Okay, now we're gonna go even faster. Let me zoom in for all of you on Zoom, sorry. Okay. G2, sus4, 2, G2, sus2, G, sus4, G, sus2, G, sus4, G, sus2, G, sus4, G, sus2, even faster, G, sus2, G, sus2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2. And if you're practicing at home like this, we won't do it now, but once you get there, you can switch every single down and up. G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G4, G2, G. Okay, yeah, exhausting. Okay, how did that feel? Was that helpful, that exercise?
Yeah. Why is it called 2 and 4 and not 1 and 3?
Because you're adding in the second note or the fourth note of the chord. So that's where it gets its name from. Okay, next week we're going to add in some more songs. I feel like we've done enough of this music theory kind of stuff for a while. We can add in some songs again and then play with the complexity that we've built up in those songs. So does anyone have a song that they'd really love to learn? You can type it in the chat now or send me an email or whatever it is, and we will start doing them.
Modani.
We can totally do Modani would be a great one to do, actually. Yeah, we can totally do it. Modani le fane.
I feel like we started
Something like that, Barb. I was trying to play your In My Life riff right there, but Yeah, we can totally learn some Beatles. Yeah, Linda.
Well, Somewhere Over the Rainbow that we started.
Oh, we could definitely go back to Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And trying to get it to blend with that What a Wonderful World.
Yeah.
That would be. I think it's actually pretty hard.
That's a tough song. That was the song that caused me to pick up the ukulele in the first place. Yeah.
As opposed to put it down.
Yeah, it's supposed to put it down. Yes. Yeah, we can totally do Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. Oh, actually, Sean's suggestion of Yellow Submarine is a great idea because Yellow Submarine is quite easy.
We could definitely do that as a group. That
Yeah.
would be a great song to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm imagining the next campfire that we have with Yellow Submarine and everyone. In the town
Grateful Dead.
when I was born, lived a man who sailed the sea. You all can play this already. It's just C. It goes to F. Now G7. C, in a yellow Anyways, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Until next week, everyone, and we will add in some of these songs right here.